Alright, so let's talk about this beat that I made here real quick. So this was a real simple beat. I basically used a drum loop and a sample. And I didn't even change the bass in the sample. It's very simple, yeah. So let me start out by showing you guys what drum break I used. And this was in the same pack as the melody itself actually, which is pretty funny. This is the original sample that I used, so this was it. Yeah, so I didn't even change the bass, nothing. It's just, what I would like to say is that like I had like 30 minutes left on the clock when I started making this beat. I was making this other beat where I was just trying to be on some no-less shit or like Izumi, but like it came out sounding like this. So I was like, God fucking damn it. What am I gonna do? I had 30 minutes left, so pick a good sample, some good chops, and that's all it was. All just came together like that. Yeah, basically I just run it up, pitch bend it up to make it like sound like a tape, the tape starting. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty cool. So, and then what happens is I just like stutter the beat right at the beginning where I repeat the first two notes or first two notes, I believe. It's not a full measure, it's just the first two notes. I don't know. And then yeah, here's the first instance of me using the sample, which is the This is just like I just like pull up the delay, just kind of drop out the whole music thing, so it kind of like gives it some space and gives it like a little bit of sauce, you know. Yeah, like that was a very obvious way I was using it, but I think the less obvious that people didn't really realize was that all the sample scratches that you hear throughout the beat are literally just like the Joe Rogan thing, and it's just like, so on the SP404 you have the DJ FX looper, but if you go into the effects and you scroll to the last page, there's actually like this thing called backspin, and it does some really good scratches, but I find it that if you do it on the spot, it'll do it at the wrong time. And it does kind of sound amateurish. I wish I had like a real turntable to do this sort of shit on, but I just meticulously place it throughout the beat. So that's not cheating, you know. DJ scratches are very valid, you know. They're very valid. Shout out to my SP404. Here's a picture of me with my SP404, and yeah, I just love that thing. And then here's a vocal sample chop right over here, which I got from Splice. I didn't really like it at the beginning, but then I was kind of like, you know what? I'll just fucking keep it in there. Could be on some like Alchemist type shit, but yeah, like the "Don't Wait for Her Man" sample. Like I always associated with Doom, and then Conductor started using it. Funny story, I didn't really download that sample right now or when I was making the beat. I just had it on my computer because I was using it in a spell battle a couple of days ago. Spell opened up for MF Doom one time. Shout out Spell. And here's some Beat Butcher sauce. This is from Messages from Space pack from Beat Butcher. Fantastic pack. If you don't have it, go cop it. If you don't have any of the Beat Butcher packs, then like, what are you even doing? And then over here, I'm just kind of like chopping up the sample a little bit to give it like a rundown, just so it's not as repetitive. It sounds really sloppy, but when you actually add the drums, it masks it. Yeah, that's pretty much all the samples. Then I like fade it out. Yeah, and then let me just go through my effects for y'all real quick, and which VSTs I used and so in the master I have a soft clipper and a loudness meter, which I just measure LUFS with it, and naturally it was kind of loud, so I was really happy with the loudness. Like if -8 LUFS is kind of what I shoot for usually, -6, it doesn't even matter, I don't know what it means, you know, it's just loud as fuck. You know, Spotify knocks it down to -14 or whatever anyway. And so what I did for the sample processing, I usually use, if I just use the whole sample and I don't change the bass or melody or anything, I'll just like use a 2 send where I separate the bass, so I can treat the bass differently and I can treat the melody differently. And the bass I put R bass on because it gives it a little bit of a bass boost. Fire plugin, shout out to Kenny Beats for putting me on. Use it all the time, honestly. And then I usually use like a send that I literally just call RC20, but it's my melodies. Like I just run all my melodies through RC20. I mean, it's a goat, you know. And I just use Maximus, which is a plugin that I use to separate the bass from the melody. Then there's a mix. On the mix, I usually use 2 sends, one separating from the right and one separating to the left, just clean sends. I think it makes the whole thing a tiny bit wider, but you be the judge of that. And I use gross beat for the stutters and shit. The vocals just have the Miley Cyrus vocals just have like Fab Filter reverb on it, which is you know, pretty standard, good reverb. I have it like a quarter of the way up. I use stock FL EQ. It's a really good EQ to just like press analyze over here, and then it just kind of like it like gives you a pretty good sound, you know, like pretty solid, and you can just blend it in as much as you'd like. And then yeah, delay, I just use automation to kind of just like stock fruity delay. Now for the scratches, it's one thing I guess I would like to mention is that I use the side chainer called Track Spacer, which I think is really cool for things like DJ scratches, because it kind of sounds like it cuts into the sample itself as it's doing it, because basically what it does, it cuts out the certain frequencies. It works like an EQ, like all the sounds that are being boosted cuts out from the other sample, which I think is pretty cool. All the frequencies, I guess, so to say. I don't know if it actually does that, but I hope so. Just use a little bit of TV static there between the "Don't Wait for a Man" and the woman singing. Yeah, very simple beat. Like I make a lot of beats that are like crazy MIDI wise and all that shit. Like, but again, like with 30 minutes left on the clock, and right now I just like to take 1 second to thank Kenny Beef and the community for like putting me in top 10, because honestly, like I've been doing these battles for like a pretty long time now, and when I started producing music, I was only playing guitar and I wasn't really producing on the computer. So when I started producing on the computer, it was like a complete curb, and I couldn't make it like in the top 100, you know, at the beginning when I started, and like which was about 2 years ago now. And yeah, I'm really happy that I finally made it, because in 2022 I wasn't really able to compete because of job issues, and this was basically my comeback beat, and I'm really happy with the way it happened there. So yeah, thank you so much. These battles have meant a lot to me, and Kenny Beats and The Cave has inspired me to start production outside of me playing guitar, so thank you so much for that.